So I scraped every single Google ad for a bunch of senior assisted living keywords in Roseville, California for a week. Let me show you what I found. Firstly, how did I do it? I used PPC Spybot, of course, where we can scrape a whole bunch of ads subject to our own inputs of keywords and a location. So for example, you can see here, I've got a whole host of projects where it's a keyword theme and a particular location. Once I get it going, it is scraping ads on a schedule. It could be hourly, it could be every 2 hours, it could be every day, whatever you decide. So as you can see, I've got the full list of ads that were scraped throughout that period. And there's a bunch of cool things we could do with that. For example, we could see the average positions for a bunch of advertisers through the period. We can see who the most active advertisers are. For you guys in assisted living, you will probably recognize some of these names because we all know some of these larger referral type companies are very active, loads of ads, and probably sometimes relatively aggressive in their bidding. So when we check their positions, let's look at the active advertisers. We can also see the distribution of where different advertisers usually end up in the auction. But on to the point of this bid. Once all the ads are scraped, I ran them through my AI integration into Claude. Thus, what we'll see here is a workflow where we're going to analyze all of the ads, including the landing pages. What's great is with the different integrations, when it comes to analyzing landing pages, you can use Playwright MCP, and you can see the agent is opening the landing pages of different competitors and actually going through analysis, including taking screenshots in order to see what different competitors are up to. As you can see, boom, there's a screenshot taken there. And we'll move on to the next competitor, so on and so forth. You can see here, the agent found 6 of the landing pages from the top competitors, and it's done a whole bunch of analysis on it, and now it is going to complete the rest of the workflow. What's great is that at the end of it, what we have is a comprehensive report of what the agent has found. Now let's go through it. So here is an executive summary of what just happened. The number of ads that were analyzed, number of competitors found, etc., etc. Top insights. As we know, aggregators dominate this market. They'll have most ads, biggest spend, etc. But there is a direct provider here that's been named as having superior conversion-focused messaging. There's a price transparency gap that's been identified, with only 6% using pricing. Same advertiser here. And apparently there's a CTA weakness, which you probably saw when we briefly looked at the ads. Surprise, surprise, guess who's managing these ads? Anyways, competitor rankings, messaging pattern analysis. And here's the interesting bit, where the agent started scraping and taking screenshots of the landing pages to identify what is going on there. And I do believe that same guy's being identified as having best-in-class messaging. What else do we have? We're looking at ad versus landing page alignment. Market gap analysis opportunities. Here is a good one. Ranked by how big the gap is. So let's look at these high opportunity gaps. Prices and headlines. Not many competitors do that. Numbers and headlines. These numbers may help your headlines to stand out. Urgency elements. Not many people using those. Boutique positioning. And then we can also see what are the saturated elements. Location and headlines, which is obviously important for relevancy. And then it will even throw in some strategic recommendations for you at the bottom. Things worth trying. So let's have a quick look. The immediate recommendations are using price transparency, numbers, urgency. Of course, that all makes sense, especially this time of the year when a lot of adult children are probably seeing their parents for the first time in at least a few months, or probably since last Thanksgiving, and they are noticing some changes that make them feel a little bit uncomfortable, and they probably start researching ways to get help with assisted living. So there you have it. Let's say this. If you want me to run your facility's keywords and location through the process, DM me. And to make it interesting, let's say I'll only do so for one facility per location. So don't pick a state. Let's go with a city, or if the city is too small, perhaps the county.